Welcome back. Thank you for being patient. I'm a few minutes late today. Happy Wednesday. If you're watching this in the future, thank you for taking a few moments for yourself. It helps us all. And if you're with us live, welcome in. I'll go ahead and get us set up. Good. Two things today. I'm working in my dear teacher and friend T.S. Little's book, Yoga of the Subtle Body. Yoga of the Subtle Body. T.S. Little, their Instagram handle that he shares with his wife, Surya, who's also a dear friend of mine, is Prajna Yoga, Prajna. We are on page 124 of Yoga of the Subtle Body, and I also wanted to share with you some pages from the Treasury of the True Dharma Eye, Kaz Tanahashi, a very comprehensive book put out by Shambhala Publications on Dogen Zenji, one of the most important Zen teachers. And I really look forward to sharing what I have to share with you today. So many of us are going through, whether subtly or overtly, a really hard time internally right now. And I want to acknowledge that, encourage us all to take time to give ourselves empathy and to acknowledge that we are human beings. We are human beings in a time of great uncertainty. In Yoga of the Subtle Body, this particular section is about gut distress and the emotions. And when T.S. talks about how the body constricts when under threat, the constriction happens throat organs, organs like your liver, your stomach, your kidneys, your intestines. This constriction happens, and the best medicine for it is sort of soft, subtle, gliding motion. Being still is not necessarily the healer for this sort of constriction. Now, our nervous systems are completely overwhelmed. We have trapped emotions. We have grief. We have fear. We are all going through this in our own very individual ways. This movement, gliding, immobilizing the body gently, rocking even, spiral movements also, as he says, helps to stimulate the parasympathetic branch of the vagus nerve. As he also says, generally when a movement regime is coupled with mindfulness-based practices, we can help ourselves to track our emotions as they pass through our bodies. And that is the key right now. That is the key to help us continue moving forward in our creations and what it is that we're sharing that is of benefit to others. So I would strongly recommend this book, Yoga of the Subtle Body, T.S. Little, Prajna Yoga on Instagram. He also teaches classes online on Glow. And they also teach here live in Santa Fe, I think starting again this fall. Gliding, rocking, spiral movements, subtle is perfect. You don't have to do a hard yoga practice. But that's step one. And it's very, very important to help us move this constricted activity of the organs through the body and release things. But here's the more fun part, I think, has to do with meditation. It's a very different way of looking at meditation. And I'm going to read to you from Kaz Tanahashi's book, once again, Treasury of the True Dharma Eye. You don't have to get it. It's quite an expensive tome. But this is what I'm dedicating my studies to for now, for the go forward. Meditation as a selfless experience. Meditation can be restful and enjoyable, according to Dogen. Its state can be like an ocean that is serene and yet dynamic. Its field can be as vast as springtime, which encompasses all of its flowers, birds, and mountain colors. Being in spring, we hear the sound of a valley stream. We become a plum blossom swirling in the wind. Dogen's poetic descriptions may seem contrary to our usual meditation experience. Here's where this is important if you're just beginning or really trying to Be consistent. Often we are troubled with physical pain and sleepiness. Our mind may be scattered. Our daily concerns continue to preoccupy us. We feel that we have had a bad meditation. Dogen, however, seems to show no interest in these specific issues. He simply speaks of the magnificence of meditation and asserts that we can experience luminosity as soon as we start to meditate. There's more, so don't be frustrated just yet. What we think we experience in meditation may be different from what we actually experience. How do we recognize our deep experience and apply it to our daily lives? These are some of the questions Dogen addresses in the essays presented in this book, and I'll be looking and exploring this with you for some time. If we were to summarize Dogen's teaching in one word, it would be non-separation. Bear with me. In meditation, the body experiences itself as not separate from the mind. The subject becomes not apart from the object. Here is the key, friend. When we sit, this entire organism becomes one entity and one with all that is. It does not have to be this hard thing where you're trying to just forget about your thoughts and do the right thing and be a good meditator. No. This is the moment when you turn all of your attention from outside in, moving inward, and you create a relation between body and mind that nobody can change. That is, in fact, magnificent and a respite from the worries and cares of the world, of your day. That's the invitation of meditation. And typically in these meditations that I teach on Wednesdays, we follow Roshi Joan Halifax's grace process, gathering our attention, recalling our intention, attuning to self and other, considering what will serve, and then engaging and ending. That process is the process of bringing our attention inside and creating this relation between body and mind that nobody else can take away. And no, sometimes it will be challenging to feel that sense of unity. It will be a glimpse of a moment, just a brief glimpse. But then other times you'll have a few passing moments where you notice that nothing is happening and everything is unified and all is quiet. And that is the invitation to you today. So let's go in. I have just a little bit more reading, but I'd like for you to close your eyes. It's not that duality stops functioning. It's not that your body and your mind are not different. It's that the body remains the body, the mind remains the mind, and we bring the two together. The distinctions dissolve in meditation for moments at a time. So, gather your attention. And you can have your eyes closed, or you can have them open. You can come into cosmic mudra, which is right hand. I know you're seeing this reversed. Right hand under left, thumb tips touching. And that mudra goes right in front of your navel. If your eyes are open, they're about 1/10 of the way open, and you're focusing on a point on the floor in front of you. And there's a quality of welcoming yourself and inviting yourself as you gather your attention from all the distant parts of your world today. And this invitation is one to recall why it is that you desire this experience. Why do you come to meditation? I come to meditation so that my meditation can be of some benefit to others. I come to meditation so that my peace and my calm might be of some benefit to another person, perhaps with whom I come in contact, perhaps with whom I don't come into contact. Your peace ripples out into the world in ways you cannot imagine. we attune to ourselves, and we continuously do this practice of attunement so that we don't get lost in there. I attune to myself. I attune maybe to some other person. I am attuning right now to my dear friend with whom I was speaking on the phone and didn't want to rush her. She is about to put her beloved dog down. So I stayed with her an extra 10 minutes past when I was supposed to be here. I'm attuning to her right now, as much as I'm attuning to myself. The sea of grace is considering what will serve. Is it quiet? Listening? Is it some contribution? What will serve best in your world today? And here I will leave us with some quiet. And you can have this experience of your own where meditation becomes this very magnificent dissolution of the difference between the body and the mind. Taking one more minute here together. Breathing deeply, spaciously, spine is tall if you're seated. And slowly begin to bring your chin down towards your chest, but stay in your meditative state. The E in grace is engaging and ending. And after you've gathered your attention, recalled your intention, attuned to yourself and to others, and considered what might serve, What small, tiny, little thing can you take away with this state from this seat sitting? What small action can you take when you get up from this seat? Super conscious, creative, helpful action, something tiny for yourself, for another person. Bring your hands to prayer if that feels good. You can also bring them to your heart if that feels better. And slowly begin to open your eyes. In the practice of Zen, the way of kind of going beyond the barrier of this duality we perceive, body separate from mind, so often gets us into so much trouble. The way to move beyond that is just to sit with full concentration on your breath, just sitting. There's nothing special. There are so many different practices and breathing practices that we can do, but in the end, just sitting still and allowing your body to settle is to bring together what is perceived as separate into one unified whole. And if we can do that with some consistency, even for a couple minutes a day, it doesn't have to be like 40 minutes, 3 times a day, a couple minutes a day. And your body registers it as a relief, as a release, as a remembrance. And this is where you make this body, mind, being continuum into a service to the folks around you and to your community. Once again, the books. Kaz Tanahashi's Treasury of the True Dharma Eye, a whole compilation of Zen Master Dogen's essays, the Shobogenzo, and T.S. Little's The Yoga of the Subtle Body. We touched on that today. I would just strongly recommend that you go visit their Instagram, Prajna Yoga, and start to work with T.S. either on Glow or through his own work. T.S. and Surya, his wife, teach a very, very subtle practice. And it's one that has given me a lot of clarity in my life and in my practice and in my teaching. And so it came to me that I should share it with you today. And again, if you have any kids around you, the kids are the most tender right now. The kids are really feeling all of our uncertainty, dread, fear, threat. Rocking, gliding, spiral movements, as T.S. recommends. Even just sitting before you meditate and doing this little move around the world, around your own hips and seat, can be helpful. Encourage the kids to keep moving, and you, kid, keep moving. Move your body every day. It'll feel so much better when you sit down. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to these Wednesdays with you, and I will see you again next Wednesday. I will have Pamela Miles here for a little Reiki practice, God willing. And thank you. Thank you so much for being here. More soon.